I'm sure he would have been proud.
Yes, sir.
So we're getting ready to go. And I should have asked you to write your names down for me. I didn't.
I can do that.
I know what I'm saying.
I didn't got one of my purse.
We welcome your info on the issues of the day. You can contact us on the Viewpoint line by calling 875-1490. The opinions expressed by our callers and guests do not necessarily reflect those of the management and staff of
Well, PM.
Sure. Which one did work? And good morning. I think this one works. Good morning and welcome into the Friday morning Viewpoint. For this Friday morning, December 5th, 2025. And as I've been saying, we have some special guests this morning. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
Okay, now I know Aquarius, is it Bennett? Let me get this microphone right in between that, right there. Okay, and you can share the mic. Now I don't know you, and your sisters. What is your name?
I'm Lavanya Towns.
Lavanya Towns. Okay, and these are the daughters and granddaughters. Well, granddaughters of the late Essex Waters, and the daughters of Deacon Nelson Waters from Mentor, Alabama.
Yes, sir.
But now one, you are in Birmingham.
Yes.
Now, and you are in Selma.
I'm here
in Selma. Okay. Now, Aquarius, I think you are getting ready to open up a new restaurant. Although it's not really a new restaurant, is it?
No, it's not.
Where was it before? Give us the history.
Okay. We were located in 1391 East Highland Avenue in the Selma Mall.
Oh, you were in the mall, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
And so some changes took place at the mall, and you decided to make a move.
Yeah, some changes took place, and we just decided to expand to a new location.
Interesting enough, it's still on Highland Avenue, huh?
I am.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now it's just on the other side.
Yeah.
But Highland Avenue is a real good location. You know, the old Jewish phrase about business: location, location, location. And you got a lot of heavy traffic going by where that restaurant will be located. Tell us where it is.
Okay, the new address is 1810 West Highland Avenue.
Okay. And it's next to the Selma Motel and what used to be a liquor store, right?
Yes, sir.
And so what are you going to be serving? What's your menu?
We have a variety of things. We're going to do wings.
Chicken wings?
Fried
chicken wings?
Wings. We're going to do pork chop, grilled pork chops.
Pork chops, what?
Fish, whole catfish salad.
Oh, no.
We have, we have a variety of things. We have,
she's mentioning all my favorite weaknesses.
Yes. All those Southern classics.
Yeah, all those Southern classics. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, good. How long have you been doing this?
We're going into the 7th year.
7th year.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Well, that's wonderful. And what hours will you be?
We're gonna start at 11. We're gonna be from 11 to 8, Tuesday through Saturday.
What?
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
that's excellent. Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, that's another asset to Selma. Now, the sister, are you here to provide moral support, or are you going to be involved in the restaurant?
Well, all around. My sister, she's like my business mentor. My husband and I, we own Level Up Gaming Arcade. It was also in the mall. For both of us, it was kind of like a starting point. So now that my sister is rebranding and relocating, we're looking to do the same. So that'll be coming soon.
Wow. Well, now if you're 7 years old, then that means that you were open during the pandemic.
I was.
How did that work out?
It was challenging. We had to close for a little bit, and then had to, start back over. But it was challenging. It was.
Well, now I am so proud to see you guys because I am a very passionate advocate of independence and entrepreneurship. And see, so you guys are examples of what I'm talking about. This is what the next generation and your generation needs to be thinking about. No sense in complaining, talking about who's stopping me from doing what. I don't look like nobody stopped you, huh? and you got all kinds of issues. You're a female, you're black, I don't know anything. You probably can come up with all kinds of reasons why you could fail, right? But it doesn't sound like that has happened. And so I'm so glad to see that you are doing that. How did the arcade work out? Did people support it? I mean, were they actively involved? Did they know it was there? That's the thing. See.
Well, they did. We got some really good support from the community around. Like we are, South Side, so.
Oh, in Birmingham, you mean?
No, the South Side High School.
Oh, okay, good.
So a lot of people from my high school.
Oh, okay.
Came and supported. A lot of people from across the river too.
Yeah.
We say across the river.
Yeah, I got you. Well, I live across the river.
Yeah.
I'm a river rat.
Yeah, but it was like I was talking to my sister this morning coming down. We opened pretty strong, but it was right in the midst
of that pandemic.
Like it came out of nowhere. We opened in February of 2020. So we were in full-fledged a few months, and then we had to end up closing. So that had a huge impact on, I think, impacted.
But you didn't give up though.
Oh no, we for a while we operated limited operations, just trying to keep the health, follow the guidelines and keep the health risk at a minimum. It was tough for a while.
What about now? Do you have anything in Selma? Any arcades?
Not at the moment. We put a pause on it. We're trying to relocate. It's like you said, it's some things that's reoccurring at the mall, like they're changing ownership again and just trying to.
I'll tell you what. If I was a little younger, I think that now would be a time I would do an arcade, a game arcade, but I would do it near the foot of the bridge, because every weekend and many days during the week, I see a lot of teenagers, a lot of young people on these on some of the tour buses, walking the street, looking for something to do.
Right.
I had mentioned it to someone else, but they brought up a valid point, and they talked about the risk, not the financial risk necessarily, the public safety risk.
Correct.
And how do you properly patrol these young people and keep them from getting into any fights or any violence, or so I'm in the insurance. I'm sure all of that would be a factor.
Right. We did have to take all of that into consideration, and especially because if being an arcade, you're gonna attract younger
right,
crowds,
exactly.
So with us being in the mall within close proximity, it was kind of more of a controlled environment. That's why we're being very extremely careful where we relocate.
Right, I got you.
We did have access to the mall security, which played a huge part in kind of keeping control, not letting them just
keeping it safe,
haywire.
Right.
Because we were an open and close operation. You pay one set, $10 fee, $9.95 to come in and stay.
Unlimited,
right?
So that's not bad.
Yeah, right. So it was a pretty good deal. We tried to make it. It could have been very lucrative, but COVID just derailed all of it.
It derailed a lot of things,
We're regrouping and it's going to be level up 2.0, just like we're doing Taste of Bees 2.0. So it's going to be fantastic.
See, that's what I'm talking about, folks. And I want to encourage our audience to please support Tasty Bees.
Tasty Bees.
And so, and tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. is the ribbon cutting.
It is the ribbon cutting.
Sitting here quietly is their father. I'm going to put the camera on him for a minute. Deacon Nelson Waters. You can catch him every Sunday morning from 8:15 until 9 with the Silver Echoes. And I can't say enough about his father and his legacy and their legacy. And so this is another example, folks, for those of you who doubt that it can happen, or is proof. Yes, it can. And the two beautiful young ladies, and you're doing something. That's what I'm talking about,
And we love Selma.
And you love Selma
Absolutely.
too. Yeah.
Homegrown.
Yeah. You come all the way from Birmingham this morning, huh?
I do, almost weekly.
Wow. Yeah.
Home, for church and support my sister and dance with my dad.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful.
Just
Yeah,
stay
that
active
is
with
really,
family.
that is wonderful. I'll tell you, I am just blown away, and I have all intentions of being there tomorrow morning as well. Just I want to see how this is going to look, and just the whole 9
So you
yards.
are welcome.
Yes, you are welcome.
Yeah,
Take
well,
screens with her.
you know,
But
it's
appreciate it.
interesting. Today is December the 5th, and this is the anniversary of the Montgomery bus boycott that was led by Rosa Parks. You know, and again, women have figured prominently in the civil and human rights movement and the voting rights movement, and don't always get the credit that they deserve. You know, and so I don't ever want to be guilty of that. I know a lot of male. I'm not a chauvinist. I still like to open the door for ladies, and I still will pull the seat out for you and treat you like a lady.
Yeah.
And for that, I'm considered a chauvinist. So be it. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
Chivalry's not dead.
No, chivalry is not dead. My late mother always encouraged her sons to be gentlemen, and that's how I was brought up. I don't know what's wrong with these other knuckleheads that don't know how to. That's what I call them, knuckleheads. Y'all don't know how to appreciate this beauty. What is wrong with you? But anyway, so go on. Anything that you like to say to our audience, and now's your time to do it.
Just come out tomorrow and support us. We start. We're gonna do the ribbon cutting at 10, and we're gonna have a great time. Come out, invite as many as you can. Friends, bring your appetite, because we're gonna be ready to serve.
So give us the menu again. What are you gonna have? What you got on the menu?
We have the chicken wings, well, the drumettes for the wings. Like, we have different flavors. We have 15 different flavors. We're gonna have pork chop, grilled pork chop. You can get that.
Did you say grilled?
Yes, grilled or fried.
What?
Yes, sir.
Mm.
We're gonna have we have filet catfish, tilapia.
Oh goodness.
Whole catfish.
Hmm.
We have salads. We even have a vegan menu.
What?
We have turkey burgers. We're gonna try to
Serve
switch it
everybody.
up.
Yeah.
Option. For some of the ones that don't eat certain things.
Eat meat.
And also we have Phillies. We have chicken Phillies. We have beef Phillies. Yeah.
Wow.
We have different variety of fries: Cajun ranch fries, chili cheese fries, loaded fries, Cajun ranch cheese fries, or whatever fry you want to make. We'll make it.
Wow.
However you want to, what toppings you
However
want.
creative you want to
Yeah,
get.
we will.
What about catering? Do you do any catering?
Yes. Catering has to be submitted maybe a week in advance, just so we can
Prepare, huh?
Yes, prepare for
And scheduling and all of that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And is this dine in or carry in, take out? How is that going to work?
It's dine in.
Dine in. I'm trying to remember how big that place was. It wasn't it's not really a real huge building, is it?
It's spacious, but it's not super huge.
But you've worked with the space.
Yes.
Yeah, I just got to see how the space has been worked with.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I don't know, is the hotel still open? Looks like they're doing some renovations over there.
No, it's not open at the moment. I do see contractors working throughout the day.
Oh,
so hopefully it'll get.
Oh boy, when that opens up, then all you have to do is walk next door to get something to eat. Huh?
Yes.
Wow, that would be wonderful. I hope that works out. And what days and time will you be there?
We're going to opening days are Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 8 p.m.
11 to 8 p.m. That's perfect. I mean, that's lunch and dinner.
Yes, sir.
And on your way from work, people can stop by and get something to eat. They don't have to cook dinner necessarily. I'm sure there's a lot of people that will be glad to do that.
Yes.
Deacon Waters, is there anything you'd like to say?
I tell you what, we expecting all the elected officials. My good friend, Brother Michael Johnson, and all the city council, he's supposed to be handling all of that. He's making sure that they're going to be there.
Oh.
The mayor, he's contacting the mayor.
Okay.
And so I just want to send a shout out to Brother Michael Johnson.
Okay.
Who's working very hard for them.
Pro Tem Michael Johnson.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, we're making progress. So
yes, sir.
Well, that's good. I'm looking forward to that then. Well, ladies, I know your time is valuable. We don't, I don't want to just be, make you sit any longer than you have to. But again, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Ribbon cutting and grand opening, actually, huh?
Yes.
Or re-grand opening,
Re-grand
since you're not new, right?
Right.
You know, tasty bees, chicken wings,
Yeah.
pork chops,
Yes, sir.
and bacon, turkey, or anything we want that our diet calls for, you'll have.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. We wish you all the success.
Thank you.
You know, yeah, okay. Anything else?
Thank you, Selma.
And
Okay.
thank you, Mr. Randy Williams.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you guys too. You're so welcome. It's my pleasure. We're going to take this break and we'll be back with more after these messages.
Awesome.
Yeah, see, we're on YouTube. You know,
Okay.
it's live. So,
Sorry.
so I always let my guests know, so you don't slip up and say anything you don't want to say. You know. Yeah.
No, but I've never been.
It's your first time, huh?
I mean,
Well,
we've heard dad and granddad.
yeah. Y'all guys, you should be natural. You should be naturals.
We've never been in actual,
In the studio.
Never.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. I'm glad. I am. I tell you. Yeah. So
Very excited.
that's what it's all about. Do you? Okay. Mm-hmm. Do I hear something? Somebody coming? Oh, okay. I sound like I heard somebody knocking. I know I got another guest coming at 9, but that's a good little while from now. Oh, I know where I was. Yeah.
On
There
51.
you go.
Tonight, clouds
Yeah.
remain, another 30% chance of off and on light showers,
You.
low near 40. Pattern continues tomorrow with a 50-50 rain chance and cloudy skies and a high near 52. For tomorrow night, 41 for the overnight low, the rain chance just 30%.
No,
For
we good.
Sunday, cloudy.
Oh yeah, you're fine. You know. Yeah. You.
30% for Sunday night, down to 40. Finally, drying out Monday with sunshine returning and a high in the low 50s. That is a look at the latest weekend weather. We have a great one. Thanks for listening. AM 14.9 WHBB.
I did too. And then, it was raining and really last night when I was coming from my grandma.
Good morning, I'm Jen Davis. Here's what's happening in the news on this Friday. Alabama continues to crack down on illegal immigrant truck drivers. Governor Kay Ivey says 82 drivers were arrested during vehicle inspections. Most of them happened in October and November. The governor thanks Aaliyah for partnering with ICE. She says truckers that are in the U.S. illegally will be held accountable in Alabama. A big night for the Troy Trojans. They play for a Sun Belt championship tonight, taking on James Madison. The game will be held at James Madison's home stadium in Harrisonburg, Virginia. They're expecting snow there this morning and temperatures in the 20s for game time. And Saturday, it's the SEC championship game indoors in Atlanta. Alabama taking on Georgia again. The 5th time they've met in the SEC title game. Kickoff for that game is set for 3 p.m. on ABC.
You guys.
I'm gonna try to get these girls out here. I guess they want to stay down here with you, man.
Oh, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. 1490 WHBB. As I said earlier, today is also the anniversary of the Montgomery bus boycott. Listen to this special. You're fine. Okay, we're going to take a few pictures, and while this is playing from Rosa Parks' boycott of the Montgomery bus boycott in 1955. That's right. Oh. Oh, one minute thing. Oh, forgot. Hold on 1 minute.
sit while a white man is standing.
When Rosa Parks, that December evening, is asked to get up out of her seat, she says she thinks about Emmett Till. Till was the young man from Chicago who'd come to Mississippi to visit his uncle and was lynched for making a comment to a white woman.
The two men who murdered Till have just been acquitted, causing outrage in black communities across the Deep South. Activists in Montgomery, Alabama organized an anti-segregation protest, a one-day boycott of the city bus system to begin after Rosa Parks' arrest. It elicits an immediate response.
We expect the city bus lines of Montgomery and the people of Montgomery to continue to obey all segregation laws as written. And as long as I am police commissioner of the city of Montgomery, I intend to follow this course.
Initially, the boycott was scheduled to last one day. And it was only after they saw the success of it that they began thinking about, well, we can sustain this. And I don't think they realized how difficult that would be.
What they were doing was almost doing a power map and looking at sort of what tools do we have at our disposal? How is the structure and the system set up in a way that needs us?
75% of the bus riders are black. A total boycott is an economic threat that cannot be ignored.
There's a huge mass meeting at Holt Street Baptist Church, and it's at that meeting where the community makes the decision to go forward and turn this one-day boycott into a kind of extended boycott.
The movement also chooses its leader, a 26-year-old minister who's determined to keep the protests going.
Dr. Martin Luther King.
Part of how Montgomery's black community sustains a boycott is because they organize this massive, incredibly impressive carpool system. They set up 40 pickup stations around town. They organize thousands and thousands of rides a day.
Taxi cabs and carpools are pressed into service as blacks in Montgomery continue to boycott the buses. Week after week, month after month.
These are people who have been engaged both in kind of grassroots resistance and in politics around civil rights for decades. But also, they had a very astute understanding of what it would take in order for change to happen. Power conceives nothing lightly.
The carpool and all we have done in this struggle continues.
The boycott continues over a year, costing Montgomery City bus lines $3,000 a day in lost revenue. White segregationists react with violence.
I remember doing the Montgomery bus boycott, moving out the Klans would get on their horses and ride through, and try to intimidate people.
Yet King and the leaders of the SCLC stay committed to face any intimidation with nonviolence.
Part of his commitment to nonviolence is a commitment to not letting white people determine the terms of their interaction and the power in that. We often focus, when we talk about nonviolent direct action, on just the peacefulness of it. But part of it is not wanting your opponent to get to set the terms of your engagement.
There's nothing passive about it.
We must get in our hearts that it is possible to be courageous and yet nonviolent.
While the boycott keeps up public pressure in the streets, in the courts, civil rights organizers are pushing for change at the national level.
When Rosa Parks is arrested, she is represented by a young lawyer in Alabama named Fred Gray.
Gray takes the case all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. And 381 days after it began, the bus boycott ends in victory when the court rules that segregation on public transportation is unconstitutional.
And that was a program done by the History Channel on the Montgomery bus boycott. What's interesting for me is that what you're talking about is a situation in Montgomery where they stayed together as a community for 381 days. That's over the 365-day yearly point. And, and you look at Montgomery today, look at the violence that the teenagers are involved in. This night and day. During that time, if you study the videos and the photographs from the Montgomery bus boycott, you'll notice that in the audience, and all of these mass meetings were full. The churches were full, but it was just as many young people, just as many teenagers, and even preteens as there were adults. So the whole family, the whole community was involved in, and I guess the Montgomery Improvement Association's name speaks for itself. Montgomery Improvement Association. Earlier, I played some sound bites from Mrs. Juanita, the late Mrs. Juanita Abernathy, and she talked about how after Rosa Parks was arrested, Mr. E.D. Nixon called her husband, the Reverend David Abernathy, and said, it's time for us to do something. And so the ministers got together and worked together. And the reason I'm told many times by people who were involved in that movement in Montgomery, I've met a lot of the key organizers over the years and have got to know them, and many of them unfortunately are deceased now. But they said that the reason why Dr. King, one of the main reasons why he was elected as the president and the leader of the Montgomery Improvement Association is because he had not been there long enough to make any enemies. Now that may sound strange to some to say. What do you mean he wasn't there long enough to make any enemies? Well, that is the nature of organizing, and that is the nature of political power, and the nature of all kinds of power in a small community and a large community. It's all about relationships and your reputation. But I'm afraid that what has happened today, as I look around the country and listen to all the different stories that I see happening in especially some of the largest cities, is at the end of the day, what's happening with these elections is it comes down to who can run the best campaign, who has the political knowledge of the science of campaigning, and knowing how to turn the vote out, and knowing how to reach an audience with the right message, and motivating people to get up and vote. So it's come down to a lot. It's much more sophisticated than just what it used to be. It's not what it was. Things have changed. Viewpoint, you're on the air.
Good morning, Randy. How are you this morning?
I'm doing fine. Speaking of change, how are you?
I'm wonderful, and I'm enjoying the conversation and the excerpts from the historic event over in Montgomery. But I think when it comes to matters such as this, it's a little deeper than what we think it is. I was, I'm a political science and history major from an HBC. On things.
You went to Alabama State, didn't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so that was like right dead smack in the middle. That was now I don't want to say Hornets. Yeah, that's the Hornets nest, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I wanted to share, I know a couple of things. I'm sure you probably already are aware of it. In the 60s, and I'm a product of the 60s, so I didn't get here till 67. So I'm definitely talking from a historical perspective or what have you. One of the strengths that was observed by the African American community in the 60s, one of our major strengths was noted by J. Edgar Hoover. And it was in our unity. It was because we were united on, freedom and justice and equality And so it was determined by a group that, hey, we got to get in here and we got to break these folks' unity, because if we don't, it's nothing they can accomplish. It's just like, the Tower of Babel from a biblical perspective. And God says we got to go out there and confuse the language, or these folks don't accomplish what they said they were going to accomplish. And so this leads to the breakdown of unity in the community through the means of your music, the arts, and things of this nature. When we were singing love and happiness and happy feelings in the air, we didn't have this.
Well, see, you're hitting it now. You're hitting it right on the head, because at the end of the day, and you're a former disc jockey. It's like somebody told me, you don't ever stop being what you are. So you understand the power of music. And when I listen to many of the stations now, and is it a coincidence that all of the major radio hosts that are hosting morning shows for all these major urban stations, that they're all comedians? Is that by accident?
No, it's not by accident. It's by design. It's by design, and it comes from Hollywood and the people that own these industries, these record labels and things of this nature. That's when the destruction and the
no, that's what I'm talking about. That's right. Yes, sir. I'm with you.
But it was by design.
Yes, sir.
We fail from the get-go.
Well, don't say that too loud, because I know we got some folks that'll want to challenge you to a fight for saying that, because they're caught up in the system. They're in it and of it.
You know, I never cared about people, how they feel about the truth. It is the truth. And let's go with that. Hey, we got to destroy this, because if not, you're not going to stop people. They're united spiritually.
Go ahead.
They're united financially. Look at what you did. You brought down an institution in Montgomery 70 years ago because of you.
That'll be fine. I can't talk.
Look at us today. Look at us today. We're fragmented. A few experience success at the expense of the many. And so you put them up to idolize, but they don't reach back down to pull others up. We just a fragmented mess.
Let me ask you a few questions. I'm glad you called. The thing of too that I think a lot of people, today's activists, missed the point that Dr. King and his inner circle understood the importance of being able to persuade the court of public opinion, and that include white folks and black folks and anybody else that was in this country and the rest of the world. And they didn't do it by through violence, through intimidation, or through some of the tactics that I see people using. And Dr. King, even before he was assassinated, that whole debate had started developing between SNCC and SCLC and the youth, who were embracing what they felt was Malcolm X's approach. And Malcolm was not necessarily advocating violence. He was advocating self-defense. There's a difference.
That was around the time when Hoover made that intriguing discovery, and that's when the splits and the fragmentation began, because other communities started picking your leaders rather than you.
And there you go. See, so you're hitting it again, hitting it on the head. But now, the thing is, let me get what your take is on this. Now, parallel in terms of the history of all of these events from 1955 until now is the interaction between the community and law enforcement. It's not the same. It's not the same level of intimidation. You've got some bad apples, but I don't think overall, I think the average law enforcement person is trying to do the right thing. What do you think?
I think so, and I commend anybody that put on a blue uniform to defend, to serve and protect the community. I mean, there's no more valuable of an institution, because I think government's first responsibility is the safety of its citizens.
And I played earlier this week some footage from Dr. Joseph Lowry. And he starts out his narrative on nonviolence by saying the black preachers were mainly the ones that led the movement, because during that time they were the most independent financially.
Well, there's that fragmentation that has even occurred then. You know, when we were little, we saw black pastors. They hung together. They were tight. I mean, you know, when you looked up and you saw Reverend Amazon wasn't too far away with it. We don't see that now, because everybody got the mega church mindset. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. We just fragmented, and I'm just in prayer.
Well, you know, there were some white ministers that were a part of that group that you're talking about. That, you know, there were white ministers that were supportive of trying to do the right thing as well. So yeah, everybody was basically, the focus was full citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think, Pastor? What do we do? How can we? Are we going to get it back, or do we? How do we go? How do we merge and really become Americans, all of us, and see each other as Americans, as opposed to this divisive politics that has erupted over the last several decades?
Well, we have to be mindful of our sources of information. You know, the scripture says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And I've always made the assessment that who controls the media controls the mind. And you have to be careful of where your source of information is coming from. And these young people that are stuck to TikTok and all this stuff, getting the snippets of what is actually occurring in the world, that's the greatest danger to society.
Propaganda.
A miseducated and a misinformed population. The danger.
Well, I tell you, I know that's, yeah, I hear you, sir. Yes, sir. I try to tell folks the same thing. You know, whether or not we understand that or not, I don't know. But you know, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few.
That's why I try to stick to Booker T. Washington's philosophy. You know, own your own cow, plow your own mule, and paint your own house.
Make your own bricks too, huh?
And you'll be all right.
Man, I'm always our pastor. It's always a pleasure. You know, we need to do this more often. People really do need to focus on the bigger picture, not all these distractions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got to stop being reactionary and start being proactive. You know, we wait till stuff happens before we react. Don't get ahead. And rather the leaders say, you know, walk in your own lane. Stop looking for another lane that's already been created and make your own.
I know that's right. Yes, sir. Well, thank you so much for calling. We got to take this break. Anything else you'd like to say before you go?
Yes, sir. I'm going to have a blessed day. I'm just excited to see so much construction going on around the community, what have you. I thought we had forsaken bulldozers and things of this nature around here. I'm just glad to see some progress going on.
Oh, and before I forget, yeah, I you know, because I wanted to make sure, you know, when you guys sent out the notice about the Thanksgiving dinners that you gave, I rolled by. I just wanted to make sure people took advantage of it. I didn't know that many people lived in Selma.
Yeah, it was lines all day. So we're grateful to Christian Services of Alabama and their partnership. You know, a lot of things that are done quietly behind the scenes, because you know, we don't seek publicity and things of this nature. What we do in secret, the Lord rewards openly. So we're grateful to the community. It was a last minute thing, and we're grateful to it.
Yeah, I saw. I came through. I said, well, you know, I wanted to make sure that we didn't help promote it in vain, and I'm glad that there were people that benefited from it. And the fact that thanks to the keto is the new location, because I was almost still stuck on Bell Road in my mind. Even though I said Old Bell Road, but in my mind, I'm still stuck on Bell Road.
Well, there's still an Illwood presence on Bell Road. That's the church that's there at the Bill Road location. Now the old school, we're in the process of converting that into a family life center for the community. So great things are going to be happening, and I'm just excited and I'm grateful to be used by God in this season to be free of that bridge to bring our community.
Well, thank you, Pastor Gary Crum. That church is wonderful. That's a beautiful facility, man. And people need to go in just to take a look at what you've done with that church.
To God be the glory, and that's a model from the Black Belt. You know, this shows together what poor people can do when they come together, and that's what is all that's happened there. You know, we're grateful to God's paid for a debt-free facility. We're grateful to God for that, and we were able to do it over the 12-year span of time. No fundraisers, no nothing, just poor people coming together, putting our resources together with a set goal, and God did it. I take no glory for it. We were just the instruments that God used during that season. So to God be the glory.
But it didn't happen overnight. You had to be patient, and you had to endure and wait and have faith, huh?
I got an idea what more. Almost, you know, and a lot of misunderstanding, you know how people are, oh, they're not going to do this. That's what they told me. I'm not going to do this. And I stayed on the wall. I never let the naysayers control the conversation, because I learned something valuable, Randy. I'm going to let you go. I learned something valuable several years ago from Mr. Alice Grayson, who was my assistant principal, like a daddy to me at Southside High School. He told me this in the 10th grade, and I live by this today. He said, son, you're going to learn in life, never waste your time answering your critics. Their mind about you is already made up. You will never reconvince a critic. And so I keep going. I keep right on going. Stay on the radar, stay out of folks' way, mind your business, and do what God has called you to do. That's how we make it in life.
Thank you for those pearls of wisdom, Pastor.
Yes, sir. I'll be back in touch.
Yeah, please do. Have happy holidays. Anything I can do to help you, know I'm there for you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. He mentioned Mr. Grayson, and he was one of my mentors as well. And couldn't find a better person, Let's take this break. I'll be back with more right after this.
We're with Barry Parker and our friends at Reliable Chevrolet and GMC. 80 years, Barry.
That's right, George. We've been right here at the same location at 14th Lawrence Street. Also the same family, the Porter family. Bill is here and has his two sons, John and Will. And soon they'll be taking over, so there'll be a third generation that has had the ownership of Reliable Chevrolet GMC.
Now let's talk about what's going on with Chevrolet and GMC. We're coming up on the end of the year. Big time discounts on these 25s that you got left.
That's right, George. We're moving them out right and left. If you're in the market for a 2025 model, I encourage you to come down, get them while they're still available, because the 26s are here and we've got more coming. So we got to make room for whatever your transportation needs are. We can take care of them right here. And let us get you fixed up so you can be riding today.
Not forget about the pre-owned side and service.
That's right. We've got all kind of makes and models on the pre-owned inventory, from cars to trucks to SUV. And when it comes to getting your vehicle serviced, we have the top service department in Central Alabama, right here at Reliable Chevrolet GMC.
And is that fifth oil change still free?
Always free. Not just your first fifth, every fifth oil change, regardless of how many vehicles you have in the family.
To get in touch with us, what do we do?
872-2337, or check us out on our website at reliablegmc.com. Or best, just come visit us right here at 14th Lawrence Street in downtown Selma.
At Reliable, where they truly have it all. If you're considering renovating your home, doing a restoration, or new home construction, call Steve Johnson at Renovation Plus, 334-412-1939. He's not a handyman. He's a master craftsman who does the job right the first time, with minimal disturbance keeping your home clean. Here's one of Steve's customers.
This is Sandra at Cornerstone. He just does wonderful work. Everyone that I have sent to him has been very pleased. And I do not recommend people normally because I'm always scared they won't produce what they say. But I have no worries recommending him.
Choose the right contractor from the start when it comes to a renovation, restoration, or home building project. Contact Steve Johnson at Renovation Plus, specializing in all phases of home repair, paint, and remodeling. 334-412-1939 for Renovation Plus.
Good morning, I'm Jed Davis. Here's what's happening in the news on this Friday. Alabama continues to crack down on illegal immigrant truck drivers. Governor Kay Ivey says 82 drivers were arrested during vehicle inspections. Most of them happened in October and November. The governor thanked Aaliyah for partnering with ICE. She says truckers that are in the U.S. illegally will be held accountable in Alabama. A big night for the Troy Trojans. They play for a Sun Belt championship tonight, taking on James Madison. The game will be held at James Madison's home stadium in Harrisonburg, Virginia. They're expecting snow there this morning and temperatures in the 20s for game time. And Saturday, the SEC championship game indoors in Atlanta. Alabama taking on Georgia again, the fifth time they've met in the SEC title game. Kickoff for that game is set for 3 p.m. on ABC. Lots of Christmas events happening this time of year. The Alabama State Capitol Christmas tree lighting is set for tonight at 5:30. You can check out WSFA.com for a list of holiday events.
1490 WHBB. Don't forget tomorrow, a couple of things. Strong's 3 is usually open when the weather permits, but I spoke with Anthony Strong, and he said they're not going to open tomorrow because of the threat of the weather, but they will be open next week, Friday and Saturday, 2 days in a row. And so that sounds like a real winner, huh? And then tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., the re-grand opening of which sounds like they're going to have it going on. I mean, Tasty Bees, fried chicken wings, and pork chops, grilled or fried, turkey. They got a vegan menu, and so this is really, I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be tomorrow, 1810 Highland Avenue. There was an old liquor store that was next door to the Selma Motel on Highland Avenue. And so they'll be in that building. I'm sure you'll see the signage. And so I want to encourage us to support all of our local businesses. Shop Highland Avenue, shop downtown Selma. Queen City Market really looks good. Man, it reminds me of 3 stores that Queen City Market reminds me of out in it would be in New York and Philadelphia. Macy's in New York, during the holidays, always does a wonderful job of decorating their storefront, the front windows. And Gimbel's in Philadelphia and John Wanamaker's. These were big retail operations in the Northeast, particularly in Philadelphia and New York. But Queen City Market kind of gives me that feel. So let's not forget about our downtown merchants. And I see the Christmas tree went up this week. I think I saw them as they had blocked Water Avenue as they were erecting it. The parade is this Sunday, the Selma Parade. And today is December 5th. Oh, and our birthday, Selma's birthday was yesterday, December 4th. 1820, though. This is the Montgomery Bus Boycott's birthday from 1955, December 5th. And here's another piece that was done on the Montgomery Bus Boycott. Oh, you can, by the way, we're live on our YouTube channel, selmapostherald.com. And I got a few other things I'll go over with you in a few minutes, but let's listen to this narrative on the Montgomery bus boycott.
Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom, freedom. Oh, freedom.
You know, I'm going to start over from the beginning because I hadn't watched this and it's the music is playing, but there's also a narrative that you can see if you're on the YouTube feed. But if you're listening strictly on the radio, you can't see what is being typed. And so let me read this as we go along. Let's start over.
Oh, freedom. Oh,
Montgomery is the capital of Alabama. Alabama was deeply conservative. Jim Crow laws strictly enforced segregation in all public facilities like schools and on public transportation. Montgomery had a population of 120,000 people, 70,000 white, 50,000 black. Most black people worked in low-paid, unskilled jobs. 50% of men worked as domestic help or laborers, and 40% of women as the average black income was half that of a white income. Alabama buses only employed white drivers. On buses, black passengers sat at the back of the bus while white sat at the front. Every person operating a bus line in the city shall provide equal but separate accommodations for white people and Negroes. That was from the code of the city of Montgomery. On the first day of December 1955, a 42-year-old seamstress called Rosa Parks boarded a bus and sat in the back of the seat of the bus. When all seats were full, the driver asked Parks to move and give her seat to a white man. Parks refused. People always say that I didn't give up my seat because I was tired. That isn't true. I was not tired physically, no. The only tired I was tired of giving in. Parks was arrested for breaking city laws. He was supposed to appear in court on December 5th. Parks was a member of the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. E.D. Nixon, the head of the Montgomery NAACP, asked Parks if the NAACP could use her case to fight the end of the race. The NAACP wanted to test whether segregation was constitutional or not. The Women's Political Council of Montgomery, led by Joanne Robinson, organized the boycott of the buses on the day of Parks' trial. 35,000 leaflets were distributed to spread the word about the boycott. Black feminists supported the boycott and they said Sunday's coming. Martin Luther King was appointed leader of the Montgomery Improvement Association, which was responsible for leading the boycott. Don't ride the bus to work, school, to town, or any place on Monday, 5th December, we are protesting for the birth of justice. On Monday, December 5th, Parks was found guilty and fined $10. The boycott was a huge success, despite the inconvenience to black people who supported it. The Montgomery Improvement Association decided to continue with the protests until one, bus seats were filled on a first-come, first-served basis. Black bus drivers were employed. Bus drivers were polite to passengers. The boycott allowed people to take nonviolent action while the bus company suffered financially. Money was collected to buy station wagons to create a private taxi service. A transportation committee was set up to form carpool. Local insurance companies refused to insure the carpool, so they were insured by Lloyd's of London. The KKK destroyed caps involved in stored cars. King was arrested for doing 30 miles an hour and 25 miles an hour zone. On November 13, 1956, the Supreme Court ruled that Alabama city laws on bus segregation broke the Constitution and had to end by December 20th. On December 21st, 381 days after the boycott started, King and other civil rights leaders took their seats on the bus. The boycott was a successful example of peaceful protest at work. King became a prominent civil rights leader. Segregation continued in schools, hotels, and libraries. Those who lost their jobs and moved to Detroit. Yeah, so that is another narrative done by Powtoon. Let's join Fox News already in progress, and we'll come back with the final hour of this morning's Viewpoint.
Different countries, expanding from 32. Today, teams will find out who they play in the first round, which starts next June. President Trump announcing the FIFA Pass. In a meeting with FIFA President Gianni Infantino last month, the pass will give those with tickets to the games priority visa appointments as he expects the cup to bring an economic boom. Another aspect of today's draw is the first ever FIFA Peace Prize, which is widely anticipated to be awarded to, you guessed it, President Trump.
You can watch the World Cup draw at noon Eastern on Fox Television. A major media merger. Fox's Lillian Wu with those details. Netflix beating out Paramount and Comcast to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. The streaming giant agreeing to buy the Hollywood studio known for blockbusters like the Superman films and the Harry Potter movies in a deal worth $82.7 billion. The deal faces regulatory scrutiny, but the companies do expect it to close within the next year and a half. America is listening to Fox News.
This is the time of year most of us are checking off our holiday gift list. Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on that list. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every single second and alerts you to the threats you can miss yourself. If your identity is stolen, your own U.S.-based
That's not bad.
Sharing your money back. Make this season about joy, not identity theft.
No.
LifeLock. Save up to 40%
I was just sitting here reading. It displayed a piece on the Montgomery bus boycott. Said they arrested Dr. King in 55 for doing 30 in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. So you know that's bad, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, there's the microphone. You need to turn your way. And you know we're live.
He gonna do more talking.
I got you. No problem.
Ain't completely good. Thank everybody.
You sure look well. You look good.
That's what I'm saying. I'm getting better.
This you can't tell me there's no such thing as miracles.
I left a flyer before, but I'm gonna leave one again.
Yeah, I don't know.
Matter.
Yeah, I hadn't seen a flyer except for when I didn't know you had left one. Good. There you go. I'll put this on the website also.
I'm just look at it. That's the same.
This is the meeting that we had that he called Ground Zero. Mm-hmm. That's the article referred to.
Sure. Okay.
That she was talking about.
Okay.
Multiple times, then they set her on fire.
The victim, 14-year-old Danica Troy, had been reported missing by her mother earlier this week. The teen suspects are in custody. The sheriff says they don't have a clear motive yet for the crime. In Miami, Evan Brown, Fox News.
The deadline for Medicare open enrollment, well, it's almost here.
The ability for Medicare recipients to change their current plans ends Sunday. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services says 69.3 million people, mostly over the age of 65, are enrolled in Medicare, with a little more than half enrolled in Medicare Advantage or other health plans. 81% of them have Part D coverage, which is prescription drug coverage one can buy provided by a private insurer but approved by Medicare. Among the changes for 2026, certain drugs will cost less, but Medicare is also trying out a 6-state pilot program where recipients will be subject to prior authorization demands before receiving certain services, devices, or procedures. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Russian drones have struck a house in central Ukraine, killing a 12-year-old boy. That attack coming during ongoing U.S. peace efforts. Meanwhile, long-range Ukrainian strikes are reportedly targeting a Russian port and oil refinery. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner were supposed to meet with the Ukrainian delegation in Miami yesterday. Unclear if that meeting took place. I'm Kathleen Maloney. This is Fox News.
1490 WHBB. Welcome back to the final hour of Viewpoint. And we have been joined by two gentlemen that have proven they care about our community. And that is Brother Abdul Muhammad and Brother Reverend Michael Bowen. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good morning to you, Randy.
Yeah. Now, you know, for those who have joined us on YouTube, you're looking at a miracle because Brother Muhammad had a stroke. Wasn't it a stroke that Brother Muhammad had? Yes. And we're not going to ask him to do a lot of talking this morning. He's still recuperating, and he's still, but my goodness, I mean, people usually a lot of times have a stroke and they lose the use of their limbs. They can't talk. They can't. One eye's gone, closed, another one halfway looking. Exactly. Brother Muhammad looks like he looks as good as he did, maybe a little bit better than when I saw him last. Maybe you just needed the rest. You know what I mean? And that's what I say. I said, no, I've been there. I know how it is, and how easy it is to get burnt out. Because the problem is, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few.
Exactly.
A lot of people talk a lot of trash. They talk like James Brown say, talking loud and saying nothing, and won't lift a finger to help make a change or an improvement in the community. All they do is criticize. But Reverend Bowen, what you got going? What's coming up? Pull your microphone over to you.
I'm glad. Just want to say to the audience, my brother Kaleem Muhammad. I'm so excited today because I'm joined with him. He's here in the studio right here with us, Randy, and I'm so happy because 7-8 months ago, when I was called at the hospital in Montgomery, and the doctor told us that this stroke that shut down the entire right side of his body. He could not even talk.
Wow.
Seeing somebody and communicating with somebody for 20 or 30 years.
And all of a sudden they can't. Yeah. And it's not like he's 100 years old.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And so that's a shock to the system,
God that, the Lord has raised him up. He's here in the studio live with me. And of course, we've been doing what we've been doing for going on 26 years.
Right.
And so I look forward to him being, side of me every year.
Right. Yeah. Well,
I'm just thankful to the Lord.
I'm thankful that Brother Muhammad is coming around and that he's getting normalized. And I know he was involved in a lot of heavy legal issues and doing his own legal work. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to do that. And people, now, and I have been accused of, and I am guilty of being suspicious. I'm very suspicious minded. So no, I don't trust every lawyer. I'd be a fool to trust every lawyer. And I've got some friends that are lawyers. You understand what I'm saying? But you better, if you can read and write and comprehend, that's why it's so important. Brother Muhammad has been handling a lot of his own legal cases pro se. And in this society, that is considered a triple threat. When you can think for yourself, you're considered a triple threat.
Exactly.
And so I would not have my people be misled, and I would not I will not be guilty of miseducating our people, regardless of what color they are. American citizens, we need to be able to think for ourselves.
And you're absolutely right. I mean, I didn't want to give him that subject right there.
Right.
But I want to definitely say, I just want to thank you all for all the help you all been giving me. And Brother Bull been right by my side and everything. And so he's been right there with my family and fighting for me and everything, and praying for me, his wife and everything, and all the sisters, whatever, and the whole people of Selma. I really thank you all for them saying, so with my, faith for Almighty God, I'm saying, and that's why I want everybody to understand, when you are coming we just talked about this on the who was coming to the store, and we were basically saying, look, we are all in this place with Almighty God,
right?
And most people don't seem to understand this. And with my sickness or whatever like that, and have more time to think and put my mind together,
right?
I'm seeing people all over the world and so forth and so forth. They begin to realize that, hey, I ain't got nobody but me and Almighty God.
I know that's right.
And so we got to realize that, hey, we got to learn to love. I learned it with my mom, my grandmother. And so I said, now, look, you got to have the love of Almighty God. And I thank God for, and no matter what religion you are, I'm saying, I got Christians, brother, Jewish brothers, and everyone, so forth and everything, Muslim brother. These people came and said, I pray to God for you. I'm praying for you. And I really want to say with crying, I thought about this before. Now, I would have been in tears, but I really want to just say this to the people of Selma area, that I thank God for you having me here, and I pray to God for those of you who are still, maybe going through some problems, whatever, and that God will help you too. I'm saying, if you believe that God will help you, He will bring it to me too. And so to just do it again to help other people, that's why I want to be there. And I said, God, just let me come back to help my people. I'm saying, I said, I can't even talk. I can't even speak.
Well, in the midst of all this brother's going through,
he's thinking about other people.
Last 8 months, he's still talking about helping the people.
And that's wonderful. But the two of you make a statement,
right?
Because Reverend Bowen is a Christian minister, and Brother Muhammad is an Islamic imam.
Exactly.
And the two of you, I very rarely hear you even bring up religion.
Right.
You're more focused on solutions.
Exactly.
Trying to end this cycle of violence.
Exactly.
And now here we are, December 5th, 2025, on the anniversary of the Montgomery bus boycott.
Right.
And look at the difference of Montgomery of 1955 and 2025. In 2025, teenagers have been arrested and charged with the probability, allegedly, of having murdered someone with a handgun.
Exactly.
And this happens every month in Montgomery.
Well, Randy, we basically here to celebrate the 26th anniversary of Stop the Violence rally that we do every year for the last 25 years. Let me just say this.
Yeah, one excuse. Commemorate. That was in my mind. I didn't mean to correct you.
That's right.
Commemorate.
Yes,
not
sir.
Separate.
I know that's right.
We got to commemorate this.
Yes, sir.
Well, we're just getting out of a meeting last Monday that was held Project Zero by our district attorney, Mr. Robert Turner, who's doing a tremendous job.
That sounds like Terry Chestnut.
Mr. Turner is doing a tremendous job.
Oh, yeah.
And we support the job that he's doing, our district attorney.
Yeah.
And we were there at the Project Ground Zero. Project Ground Zero on last Monday, it was 60 days. In 60 days, we have lost 65 days. We have lost 5 people to gun violence in those 60 days.
Goodness gracious me!
Of course, we're not going to call names because
I got you. No problem.
We're not going to do that. The sensitivity of this, the nature of the crime.
But you got 5 more families that have been traumatized.
Yes, and what we said, we got an article coming in the paper this week, rather, is that we got to get to a point somewhere where we could address this issue on a level ball field and not be anxious of who's doing what and who's not doing what.
Amen.
And I want to say this, I take my hats off to our district judge, Judge Vanetta Perkins Walker, because she got up and basically what she was saying, if we come together with this wouldn't be the issue it appears to be.
Right.
It won't be the elephant in the room.
Right.
What is happening? You got peace over there, peace over here, peace over there.
All these silos.
Exactly.
Yeah, and everybody wants to be important.
Yes.
And if it's not my idea, I won't support it.
Exactly.
Yeah, we gotta cut that out.
Exactly. So those are things we got. We have lost 5 people to gun violence in 65 days.
In Selma, Alabama.
65 days. And the average person don't know what transpired because they either don't read the paper, they're not listening to the news, they're distracted.
Right.
Their job, their
Distraction.
children, what have you.
Right.
But I've lost 5 people to gun violence in 6 to 5 days.
And nobody's talking about it from that perspective, you know.
Exactly. And the average person you stop in the street, what? When this happened?
Well, again, the information is not, a lot of the information is not being put out. Yeah. And I give Montgomery a lot of credit because their police chief, Boys, and their mayor, Mayor Reed, they on an almost daily basis communicate to the public what's happening.
Right.
We don't get police reports anymore. And we haven't seen a police, except now Sheriff Grantham will bring a police report from the sheriff's department periodically. But it's been several years since the Selma Police Department has published a police report.
Well, I used to be able to get access to it myself and Muhammad. We could tell you just about it on a daily because we got.
But it's not done anymore. It's not done anymore. That's the point.
We got to go through channels to get how many deaths you had this year. I mean, whatever.
Right.
I don't know why that's a secret, but for every reason.
Well, and then when you do that, it creates problems. And everybody has a different philosophy on public relations. And Facebook is fine, but everybody's not on Facebook. And you're really not going to reach the masses with Facebook. You'll reach a certain group of people.
My mind's still messed up, but I'm gonna say this one little small thing. I don't want to start because I'm always put my mouth out there when my mind was better. But
don't look like you lost anything to me.
And it's still kind of slow. So I just want to say this: we see that the majority of the situation here, the people who are killed. Not just the people who commit crime. I'm not saying that like somebody did it in Michigan, talking about only the immigrants are doing.
No, I got you. No, you're talking about here in Selma.
Yeah, but I'm saying young black men. It's like we're always dealing with that situation. So this is right in front of our face.
Right. But
then again, we have to say that with the same meeting, this
district attorney.
And stop the violence thing with the Dr. Excuse my mind,
no problem. Right.
But what I wanted to say is that all of black and white, we got to come to the understanding of loving. The black people over there or whatever they is, all of it got to deal with this situation. Because we all come to Almighty God. We don't come to Almighty God.
Yep.
And here's one thing I want to say. This one thing, my mom, grandmother would say, when we all dead, it's not gonna matter whether you black or white. You're gonna be black no matter whether you be white or whatever. And when we go to Almighty God, none of that stuff gonna really matter. White or black or Republican or whatever. We got to come to love.
Right.
And when would America wake up for that? When will Selma do that? So our people in Selma, the so-called, I ain't gonna call this something religious degree, the people in Selma, we got to fix this problem. The so-called white system, white people in the religious situation, we got to do that. There's some Jewish people, there's some Muslim people. We got to fix this problem. Right. So now, if I say something to any of you all out there, whether you black and white or whatever, Jew, Gentile, whatever like that, if I get my mind back together, because it's in my heart, I'm telling you now, so if I have to say that to Selma,
right,
that you all need to get real,
right,
and stop playing game with God.
I know that's
I'm gonna say that and let you know that I'm gonna say this before the people. So we got to come together and make this happen for Selma. So I'm gonna let that say that and be.
Well, you may be.
Well, we've been beating the same drum for years, Randy. You've been there along with us. We have not changed in the situation, basically with gun violence. There were months in the past, down in the years, where we had something like 3-4 a week, 1 week.
Yeah.
Then we heard from different ones that this needs to happen, that needs to happen, and the weeks went by and nothing happened. They were not even a march. There was not even a store that's closed to say honoring. We can honor this person.
Unless it's during election time.
Yes. Well,
then everybody come together. They got all kinds of
since we shift, we got a new, basically a new board at the city hall. We like to believe, but our prayers is with this. Our prayers are to the mayor. In fact, the mayor was there Monday night. Our new elected mayor, he was there. Mayor Moss, he was at this meeting, ground zero, with the district attorney. Quite a few people were there. Quite a few city council people were there. See, and so they didn't take on a job that they totally ignorant of. If you lived in Summer's a small place. Everybody knows everybody. You know what's going on. Come on, you can't keep folks in the dark. You know, sooner or later the light going to be switched on.
Well, and that's the thing. Being prepared for when that light is switched on. Can you handle it? You know?
We are in support of city government because when city government prosper, go forward, we all go forward.
Right.
So we are in support of city government.
Right.
We are pushing our mayor. Forget about what happens before the election.
Right.
But he is a person. We are pushing him like we are pushing our district attorney.
He's the leader of the city.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
You know, and the district attorney is the top law enforcement.
Exactly.
Person in the city, in the county.
Right.
You know, and then we got the probate. I think we're blessed with a lot of good political servants. We have two excellent state representative, Representative Chestnut, and our state senator, Senator Stewart. We couldn't get any better.
Oh yeah, they're there.
You know, so and that's where it all starts.
Yes.
You know, on a local, and county and state level first. You know.
But we like the lover. Now you say you love me, you got to show me.
What have you done for me lately?
You say that you support and stop the violence.
Right.
You talking about it all year.
Right.
But this one weekend in the year, which this year is the 19th, but for you that don't know, the third Monday in January is the day his birthday being celebrated.
Right.
His
Dr.
birthday
King's
is actually the 15th.
It's actually the 15th, right.
But it's being celebrated
on the 19th this year.
The third weekend, the third Monday in January. Sometime the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. Yes.
Right. Every once in a while, they hit on the 15th.
But we very seldom see you there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
well, you know, I think what it's like it's like pulling teeth to get people to really participate in in protest or in marches unless they're being paid. Like we're seeing in other parts of the country. People don't need to fool themselves. Those crowds are being paid to protest. And so that takes all the credibility out of the deal. They're not concerned about the people. They're concerned about that dollar. You know, money and power. Still back to the basics. But marches like this and the commemoration, you know, and remembering Dr. King, and going from Brown Chapel to the Edmund Pettus Bridge, and remembering the power of nonviolence. And you know, being violent, you know, I can be violent and never have to lift my finger. If I speak to you harsh enough, if I abuse you enough mentally with my tongue, that's almost worse than physical violence. Nonviolence is, like Brother Muhammad says, comes from the heart.
Exactly.
Where is the love? And there's nothing wrong with showing love, and because it takes. In fact, I played a piece earlier this week. Dr. C.T. Vivian and Dr. Lowry both say the same thing. You know and Dr. King, that the whole point of the movement was demonstrating and showing that it takes courage to love.
Right.
To be nonviolent.
Exactly. Well, our keynote speaker this year, Randy, is Dr. Nathan Knight. This young man that was with Dr. King at age 11 from Atlanta, Georgia. And he stayed with Dr. King. In fact, I'm not sure now. I believe he was with Dr. King in Memphis, Tennessee. I spoke with him several times. He was here the year before last. He was here at the march, the Birch Crossing Jubilee March.
Right.
And he was there. But I met him. I've sat down with Dr. Knight, and he shows an interest. He said he'll definitely, he's our keynote speaker for this march, Dr. Nathan Knight. SCLC.
Well, maybe this year we can also put it on YouTube Live. So that people can see if they can't come, they can benefit from what's happening. I'm going to work on that.
I would say this, you know, I mean, maybe I'm talking too much about this but I'm talking about this thing of coming together, not just Selma. I went to school with a black school or whatever like that, and a white school mixed together. In fact, our school was like filthy or whatever. And the people when I graduated, graduated. Excuse my speeches.
That's right, no problem. You're fine.
We still have some of the late situation with those people or whatever like that. But I'm saying some of those people still in Selma. And someone went to the,
So you went to school here?
Yeah, I was born right here. They know who I am. Yeah. Believe it, they know Rock Jones.
That's right. I forgot that was your brother. Yeah.
In fact, I was talking to somebody the other day at the place I'm saying, and I Mr. Walker, But what I want to say is that we got a situation now where we got to come back with what we say with the same thing with this thing. When I was a little kid, blacks, white, Jews, all these people came together, with Dr. Martin Luther King. And so that was a sign where people are saying a sign that God is still with America.
Oh, yeah.
We got to be able to realize what we're bringing back to Selma. That people that I grew up with school, white, black, or whatever, we got to get past that situation.
If my people,
I'm saying. So, I'm saying that those people who may hear in our voice,
right?
I know that brother. I know Matt Nasty. If he's talking about God, I'm saying, if Rock Dog brother can talk about God, I'm saying, something is strange, I'm saying. So all that I'm saying to you guys in Selma is that we got to put aside this church situation and everything like that, and all this black death and everything, and what situation you in or whatever like that. If you got love, because remember we said the same thing
we have not to cut you off, Muhammad.
Yeah,
we have
you're gonna say it better way. My speech is
Sunday morning. Oh man, Sunday morning we are full of this. Sunday morning we got all the love of the world. Bless God. Sunday morning.
For a few minutes anyway.
That's for 2 hours Sunday morning.
Sometimes it don't last 2 hours.
It just so happens the doors open up after you've been locked in. The doors open up, and what happens?
Let me say this too. Now I because have been in the entertainment business all of my adult life, and the people that I've become friendly with and have associated with and have known, I know people from all kinds of backgrounds, including drug dealers. And some of those guys that were kind of forced into what they had to do to make a living.
Yeah.
They weren't murderers, though. They weren't killers. And many of them, and I've often said this, and God knows it's true. I've been in places where if there was not a man or woman of God in the room, somebody would have lost their life.
Yeah.
And they didn't even have to say anything. All they had to do was just be there.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people who are caught up in bad situations and have made bad choices, but it's never too late.
Right.
Hope. We got to have hope, and we got to get out of this violent frame of mind. It's hard to do when everything around you is violent, but it has to be done.
Well, Randy, I said this. I often say this because I say this in the class that we do every week. Dealing with incarcerated people or ministering into incarcerated people. Way before the Dallas County Jail was closed, myself and my brother Muhammad, we had a class that we were doing. We called it the Fatherhood Initiative.
Yeah, I'm familiar. I'm a certified Fatherhood Initiative facilitator.
Actually, all the guys that was in that class with us is guys who was waiting to be sent away, was guilty of the crime, murder, this, that, whatever. It goes on to get deeper than that. But somehow they had this thing in common, is that they did not have anyone to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
If you really sit down with them as a one-on-one, I'll sit down with over 100 of those men.
Mm.
Okay, found guilty or whatever. I don't want to go into detail because if somebody want to know a name, and I ain't got time for that. And they all says the same thing. And I'm not knocking the church itself, but our young people, that's something we want to do so much. We got to have our numbers so spread out that our young people could pick up the phone and call the church. And I'm not saying call Saint whatever or disfellowship. call the church, call somebody that's able to speak to you, relate to your situation.
In order for that to happen, you've got some things that are going to probably need to be fixed. And the first thing is trust.
Yeah.
And trust is earned.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you can't be saying that you want to help and then somebody shares something with you privately, and then you go out and put their business in the street.
Right,
or you take advantage of a person in a mental state and molest them. You know, but you got your collar on.
Right, exactly.
That's got to be fixed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, far too much of that, is happening. And the other thing too is, and I guess I said that about I've dealt with a lot of people to say that I have tried to practice not being judgmental.
Right.
Deal with a person based on how they deal with me.
Exactly.
Do unto others.
Yeah.
I grew up with that as the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And a lot of us have gotten so selfish and greedy until we want it all. And we don't want to share anything.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a lonely life.
Yeah. It is a lonely life. And I don't want to go there with that, but because that's a conversation that will last for weeks.
Yeah, we can dive deep into that.
Look at the condition of our city.
But that's why we got to get everybody at the table. It can't just be one or two people.
That's exactly what Judge Perkins was saying. Judge Perkins Walk, I should say.
Right.
Somebody we support.
Right.
And somebody we love.
Right.
Because she's someone own.
Well, she's got authority.
And exactly.
To be in a position of authority is
exactly. And her job, it can be complicated to other people. But she has made it so plain as day.
It's hard because you've got to, I don't know, I'd be interested to find out what the numbers are, but the number of teenage pregnancies and for how long has that been going on?
Yeah.
And if the teenager had a child, the question is, was she ever parented? All teenagers that became pregnant didn't necessarily come from a bad home.
Right.
But there are some who never were parented, and it just gets worse with each generation. How do we become proactive? I'm always concerned about the one that's falling through the cracks that nobody wants to deal with.
Yeah.
I have a dream that God can fix all this problem. You know what I mean? Believe it or not, in my weakness, I'm saying I had to sit down on the bed and seeing that all this coming to Almighty God.
Wow.
That you was a problem in this. I'm saying years back, you was a problem.
Right.
You was a problem with your family member, drug dealers and everything like that. You understood all this.
Right.
Now, can you fix the problem? And I had to get my mind before Almighty God that God, please don't let me die in this situation.
Right.
Well, the thing about that too, Muhammad, not to cut you off, you was a problem. See, now who helped you to fix your problem?
That's what I'm saying.
How was your problem got fixed? And sometimes what happens, we forget that we all peaches and cream here, Randy.
We're in denial.
Exactly.
We won't accept the fact. I won't accept the fact that I'm wrong, or that I need to change my behavior.
Some adjustments.
Or make some adjustments.
Some adjustments in your life.
But if I don't know, like an old friend of mine used to tell, Bob Tracy, it was an old disc jockey that had been around, but he was another radio mentor. Bob used to say, if you can't solve a problem until you realize you got one. And half the problem to solve once you accept that you got a problem. Then you can work on the solution.
Not long ago, I was in a federal prison. Not long ago, I don't want to call the name of it, but I was a federal prison. Well, the average man there, I'd been there for 25 or 30 years. Okay, and he said he wished, some of them were saying to me, I wish I know now.
But I knew then, but I got
we use that a lot.
Yeah, I know. I wish I knew
but
now.
It took you 25 years
to
get it together.
Right.
Now you have a son.
Right.
How long is going to take him to get it together? Because he's got a legacy too. He's got something that needs to be corrected, to be fixed.
Right.
And we are not doing a good job.
But that's the hard part. That's hard. It's not easy. That's the tough love.
I said to the district attorney the other night, Monday night, I believe it was, into that audience and that setting that they was up there. I said something to them. I said, I sat down and talked with people, especially incarcerated people, instead of drug dealers and people in the street. Okay, I don't have to go into name and all that. I don't need to be questioned and all that. People stop me. People call me. People in the courtroom and the parole board. Okay? We as black men is not doing a good job of speaking with each other. Seems like every time we communicate,
it's going to be confrontational. Yeah, it's confrontational.
There's a confrontation. Yeah. And 9 out of 10 times there's gunplay.
Especially now, it's gotten, that seems to be the
so I stopped
the technique of choice.
A couple of weeks ago, not too far from my house, I stopped because these brothers was having a cookout. It seems it was doing some type of little business, chicken, whatever, I don't know what it was.
Right.
And they stopped. I knew I had to make a stop at the house and come back to that corner when they were sold out. And something hit me as I was leaving. I said, now these was about 13, 14 young black men. I didn't hear a gunshot.
That's good.
Man, I turned the car back around.
Yeah.
And I called about 3 of them and I began to have a conversation with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like as black men, every time we get into this conversation, there's gunplay, and somebody's on the floor.
Well, you see, again, a lot of that is a result of conditioning. Remember that during slavery, it was illegal for 2 or more to gather. And even during Jim Crow segregation, and when the voting rights movement in Selma was at its height, it was illegal to have 2 or 3 people gather. Black people together to talk, and it was illegal for black and whites to talk.
Right.
That's the whole key. People can't. You start by divide and conquer.
Right.
Don't talk to each other, and then before you know it, boom, everything was exploded, and nobody knows why.
Yeah. Well, we got to correct that. We know it can be corrected. We're not in slavery now.
Well, that's the good news. That's right. Well, some of us, we still got some slaves walking around.
We can correct that, right?
They're walking around mentally enslaved. I think we got a call here. Viewpoint, you're on the air. Hold on.
Yes, boy. Man, I hope that's invading me. I just want to say good morning to your guests, your studio guests. But I also am calling because I hope there will be people in the audience who remember the times or have reflections from their own life, their parents and grandparents, because I had an opportunity to speak to my 100-year-old grandfather, my father rather, the other day. But, we reminisce about the day we having been living across from, right down the street from Alabama State University. And maybe we'll have an opportunity to share those stories next week. But a lot of us have memories of our parents working in the movement in Montgomery, whereby they were trained in order to do the work here in Selma when they came here. So I would like to hear those reflections. We have so many stories that we can share. And I think those are the efforts that would really keep our young people more grounded and informed. We have a lot of work to do here. I commend me on the work that you're doing. But I just would like to hear some old stories because I know I have a lot of them that were shared with me.
Well, I'll tell you what, caller, in the days and weeks and months coming up, I intend to do a lot of that. And people will be welcome to share their stories. We'll welcome that. That's not a problem. I need to get ready to take a break. You want to make a closing remark?
I wanted to suggest that because a lot of us have memories that we can share that can really continue to improve on things that we're trying to develop in Selma. All of us don't have the same ideas, and we would like to hear that diversity. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for calling. Let's take this break, and I'll be back with more right after these. Oh, not Chris Plant. Chris Plant will jump in here on me in a minute. Right after these messages.
Don't wait another day. Don't wait to get sick. Your
Make sure
vaccination
you,
destinations are Brown
sure
Drug, Dallas Avenue
Now, what about
Pharmacy, Pharmacy, and
People that
want to participate?
is the people that this is what we're saying to the people back here. I'm sending this letter out to be asking people for donations and stuff, you know.
Well, but that's what I want you to, just get into that,
Yeah.
As because we got 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And a little less than that when we come back, but you want to make sure you plant those seeds.
Exactly. Because I know last year it was a letter that we sent out and someone heard us and Bush gave us $1,000.
Oh, really?
Happened at the time when we needed to pay for our band, we needed to print like $1,500 for the t-shirts.
Right.
And most of it we give out.
Right. I got you give away. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So people don't realize that most of the time we still not.
You're not cash flowing, is what you said. We're still on YouTube. So somebody else died.
If you could know, we got to go and give him one of these.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Because look, he's a millionaire.
Yeah, I got you. Well, yeah, well, and a lot of times people that are wealthy get a bad rap, but there's a lot of wealthy people in this nation that give money.
Yeah.
Philanthropy. Well, this past Tuesday, I think, set records with the number of people that gave philanthropically. Yeah. So.
Well, the thing is that I understand. I want to go back to what the judge was saying on Vanetta Perkins Walker, but she was right on point. You got all these people in this room, all these
movers and shakers.
Exactly.
Ain't nothing happening.
You and I know why they don't want him, want me, or want you.
Yeah.
They don't want you on some board now. They don't want you on board.
Yes. We're gonna get something done. That time to be playing. I don't have time to play games, and I am. I'm just, you can burn out. You're playing, going like a dog chasing his tail.
Man, we got to get across this river. I'm like Harriet Tubman, came to the Ohio River in the midst of the winter. I heard the gunshots behind over 16 runaway slaves. And they said, was forbidden for a slave to swim.
Right. Wow.
So nobody could swim. She couldn't swim. 16 of them.
Wow.
And she said, we got to go across this river. And half the people said, we not going.
You go right ahead, but you put them in gun.
Sometimes you got to do this for them, right?
I know. Well, I was saying earlier yesterday, I can lead you to the water, but I can't make you drink. But you saying you can force them to do it.
Whatever it takes, by any means necessary. You are going to drink. You fast to get things done, Randy. I hate to say it.
Well,
you fast to get things done.
But see, now, this is when you talk like that, though. Then you got these folks that say, "Oh, that's not democratic. That's socialism and communism, and that's being autocratic, and you're forcing folks. You're not respecting their rights to be ignorant."
Yeah, I agree. And here's what I'm saying. Did this so-called the criminal? What you say?
In terms of, go ahead.
Had it been something for our people, in as a whole,
right?
In terms of the whatever kind of situation you call it, keeping from talking too fast. My wife did go slow down, speak.
Right.
But you're saying that when you with these kind of people following this kind of mentality or whatever like that, that this is what we got to do it.
Right.
Has that really benefit to you?
Yeah.
Or had, like in the time of Moses, did they have this same kind of situation? Or did they only depend on Almighty God?
If we don't mirror the children of Israel, I don't know who does.
That's what I'm saying. So we got to start thinking more so that all this so-called Republican and all this kind of stuff and everything.
It don't take many. Yeah. Remember, in Moses' time, we had three names stand out. Yeah. In the midst of these 2 million people, there was 2 names. What was the name? Abiram, Nathan, Korah, and Abiram. They had connections with the Egyptians. They lived like kings in Egypt.
So they don't want to change.
So, when they got on the backside across the Red Sea, they said, we want to go back.
Came up here to recreate stand by. I'm not being
we want to go back.
Look this way, Brother Muhammad. Make sure that's
okay.
Yeah.
I spoke to the young lady with the books, so she's coming in this week. She will be here Monday.
1490 WHBB. Yeah, we got a full studio this morning. But you know, what I've touched on before. I remember the first time I went into the Capitol in Washington.
Yeah.
And they have a display of the Magna Carta, a replica of the Magna Carta.
Okay.
You know, in Europe, you know, went through feudalism, and the Magna Carta represents the infant stages of what is now American democracy, in that the peasants were saying, yeah, you may be king and queen and you're the royal family, but we have human rights to be respected.
Yeah.
You know, and then that's when that conversation begins. It is really important that we understand, I believe, what the revolution of 1776 was really all about.
Yeah.
Even though there were contradictions. But I'm mindful of the fact that Thomas Jefferson had included a clause in the Constitution that abolished slavery.
Yeah.
But the Southern delegates said, well, you know, that's how we make our money, and that's how we make our living. And if you keep that clause in the Constitution, we will not be a part of the 13 colonies.
Right.
So he had to take it out. You know, he said, well, he said, we're kicking this can down the road. And when the can was dealt with, it was dealt with in the form of the Civil War. It took a Civil War to change and to correct, you know, what had happened with saying, on one hand, all men are created equal and free.
Of course.
While practicing institutional slavery. Right.
But
you know.
some people not, you know,
they don't understand
they're animals.
Right.
They're not supposed to have that.
Right.
You know, but then, is this Almighty God telling you this? Is this the same thing that God telling you?
Or is this
you
man?
Same people?
Right.
Or you told that these people, did God tell you that these people are not animals?
Yeah.
I will get them before my mind gets deeper.
But remember that was a strategy too, because initially in 1619, when the first African slaves came to America, Europeans were not prejudiced. They had to be conditioned. Yeah. White people had to be trained to be prejudiced. It took 200 years to really get them to be prejudiced against blacks, and then took probably another 200 years to get to reverse it.
On the slave ship, the captain of the slave ship met that.
With John Adams represented him.
Yeah.
That was in the Cinque. I think it was
before the.
It was before the Civil War.
Before the Civil War.
Yeah, but no. So what he said was, and I think Booker T. Washington.
Yeah.
And the poet, the black poet Langston Hughes, alluded to it. What was happening was, when white people encountered, including officials, encountered blacks from other countries, they respected their autonomy and the fact that they were another nation. That was the problem, you know, with slaves not being from anywhere. Once after a while, you know, you're born on American soil, but you were considered property.
Property.
You know, until the law changed until the 13th and 14th Amendment. You know. And so you're dealing with it's very complicated. But the good news is we're not there now, like you say. This is 2025. We have no business thinking like slaves.
Yeah. I asked the question last time I was here, Randy, because I was last May. I had the privilege of being in Houston, Texas, and I didn't know until the late of
about Juneteenth in Galveston.
Well, I know about Juneteenth, but I didn't know in Galveston, Texas.
Galveston, right?
That's when the word came. When we was 45 minutes away from Galveston. I would have liked to get over there because I heard it's a black family actually owns the plantation where that word came. But Randy, would you like to be the man that delivered deliver the message to the owner?
I bet that was deep. I bet he was armed too.
He was sitting down waiting to get some good news.
Yeah.
And all of his properties about to leave.
Well, and see, this is the thing, you know. But see, you really touch on an important concept, and I have to give Southern white people credit.
Yeah.
Because some of the same Southern whites who have been conditioned to accept Jim Crow laws and segregation, some of those same people who where blacks had to get off the sidewalk, some of those same folks now say yes, ma'am, and yes, sir.
Yeah.
To your people who are much younger. they made the change. They respected the law.
Yeah.
That's more than I can say about a whole lot of folks in other parts of the country. Southern whites need to be given credit for that.
Yeah.
I would say something on my mind a little bit more because I want to be able to say it with the facts about this whole situation. And my mind is still messed up. Maybe about another month or so I come back. But either way, what it is, let me say this, I'm saying, and I'll back this up, I'm saying, because I know the history of this, I'm saying, in my soul is in there.
Right.
Almighty God knows that there's only one man
race
in Adam. From Adam.
The human race.
Yeah, the human race. Now, whatever they did to try to make this so whatever, make it fix for them and everything,
right.
This is not from the state, from Almighty God. Okay?
Right, right.
Now, I'm gonna call you Antichrist and whatever like that. I ain't gonna call you devils or what. I ain't going to that. I'm saying that the time now comes for black people to get out of them slave mentality.
Right.
It's time now for white to come out of the mentality that they've been in slavery in themselves.
We've all been enslaved. That's right.
You know, I could give you the fact on that one saying later on, but I'm too messed up.
Dr. King documents it in the Selma Montgomery speech, and when he talks about Jim Crow, and he gave the history and why it was done, and you know.
So what I'm saying to the white people, I'm saying, you got to come to the point to Almighty God, only to Almighty God, you know. And in fact, one people have said, you know, that Jesus did not come from Europe or whatever, you know. So first of all, you need to get that now. So you know, to make that clear,
right?
Jesus did not come to Europe, okay?
Or from Europe.
Well, and then if we get further into the history of the world, the oldest remains. First, they were in China. But the last oldest remains were found were in Africa. You know, and so what does that mean? You know what I mean? You know, and when people left Africa and migrated to other parts of the world.
But not to sound contradictory, Randy, our problem right now is we sit right here, right now. Our main problem here in this vicinity, in this city of Selma, in this Dallas County, is us. We are a problem. Yeah, I don't care what you say, but the man. I don't care what you say about other people.
You know what? When I say that,
the last time I checked,
right,
and I got to go back some years, maybe 10, 15, 16 years. It's always been black on black.
You got to go back 25 years.
Well, the last time, let me say it right, a Caucasian man killed a black man. It's been at least 16 to 17 years. I don't have my book in front of me. That's where a white man killed a black woman and then killed himself.
Wow.
You remember that story? Okay, I remember that story well because we did a Stop the Violence, a street park off right there in that vicinity.
Right.
Okay. It's us, man. This thing is about us.
Well, no, I was going to say, and this is an important point. When I say that, you know, I have people that say, "Oh, you promoting self-hate."
Yeah.
You hate your people.
No.
You're undermining your people. You don't, because you're saying that you're always talking negative about black people.
Yeah.
And that's a person that's unenlightened.
Right.
See?
Look, and I say this again, because we deal with statistics, we deal with numbers.
In facts.
You see, in the state of Alabama, we represent 23.5% of the population. The last time I checked, maybe 30.
It's closer to 30 now.
Okay.
Right.
All right, closer to 30. In the penal system,
it's 70.
It's 74%. Okay?
So you know there's something
wrong. Let me
get
into my point now. You're talking about love.
Right.
Do you not know that over 70% of the prison volunteers in the state of Alabama doesn't look like us?
They're white.
What's the reason for that?
See, and that's the whole point. We need to be able to be willing to solve our own problems, you know, and that's why I think it's really important to document.
I welcome that.
Well, I was about to say, freedom fighters are not black or white. A freedom fighter is a human being, and they would come from all hues. Mahatma Gandhi was Indian.
Yeah.
We've got some Indian merchants in Selma.
Exactly.
We've got merchants from the Middle East here in Selma.
In the hotels.
You know, some of my own hotels, and then do other. You know, so we've got to come together, like you say, as a human race.
I'm gonna say this one, so the people will be messed up and everything. If I say that I'm a good Jesus, I believe in Jesus.
Right.
I'm a Christian is going to call it that. I'm saying,
right.
Brother Muhammad, a Christian brother? You know, now most people who know me, they know that about what I mean that when I said that before. So now what I'm trying to say is that if a person who's a black man as a Christian and want to, you know, love your neighbor and so forth, don't go, you know, mess up your women or whatever the case may be,
right.
not steal your stuff and everything like that.
Right.
Would not you be a person who's going to heaven
so
or whatever like that?
A moral
Want to be that person?
Now, you remind me of Attorney Yusuf Salam when him and I talk. We always he likes to bring it up the Abrahamic faith.
Exactly.
In terms of Jew, Christian, and Muslim, all stemming from the history of Abraham and the fatherhood of Abraham, and that is one of the unifying points. But then there are other religions. There's Taoism, there's Buddhism, there's Confucianism, and there's a few of them I don't know that exist. And so how do we, as Dr. King say, sit down at the table of brotherhood and reason together? Yeah. Because there's some atheists out there. Yeah. But if there's a moral standard, if there's a moral bar, doesn't matter what religion I am or you are, we can survive and be civilized,
but in this day
and not like animals.
In this day and time, there's no room for us as black men to hate anybody. I don't care if you're white, if you're Indian, if you're from overseas, if you're from... We don't have room to hate anybody.
We're the last ones that should hate.
How can we hate anybody, man?
We should be the last ones.
My God.
But if you don't know your history, Frederick Douglass says like people that don't know his history is like a tree without its roots. Mm-hmm. And so one thing about the Jewish people, they teach their children at home.
Don't forget.
And in their synagogues. Mm-hmm. How many of our churches and how many of our families are educating our next generation about its history? Go ahead and get into that, man. Okay. Because we're running out of time.
One Nation, One Dream. Safe Haven Center presents the 26th anniversary Stop the Violence rally. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. March and caravan. We started the caravan because of the people didn't want to march with people during the
doing COVID-19, right?
So people would feel uncomfortable staying in their cars.
Right.
This year we have a motorcycle coming out of Wilcox County, and they're gonna be riding their motorcycles. Okay, now March and caravan Monday, January the 19th. Is always the third Monday in January, 2026. And remind you, we say this is our 26th year, Randy. This is our 26th year of this march, okay? From Brown Chapel Church to the Edmund Pettus Bridge. Celebration from 12 to 2 p.m. Now, we want to ask you if you like to be someone, because we have a band, we have people that we need to pay. We have the Reverend Nathan
Right.
Nathan Wright, ex-CLC man, coming all the way, that was with Dr. King as a little boy. He's coming to be our keynote speaker here.
Right.
Amen. From Atlanta, Georgia. So we're saying to you all, if you like to be a part of this and like to send us a donation, you could do so. Our Safe Haven Center, P.O. Box 1971, Selma, Alabama 36702. Or maybe you feel that you're better off with a cash app. My cash app, you can send it to our cash app, M. Bowen, $ Michael Bowen Sr. $ Michael Bowen Sr. That's our cash app. You could cash app us, or if you feel like you want to write us a check, it's a Safe Haven Center, P.O. Box 1971, Selma, Alabama, and we are tax exempt.
What's your phone number?
Right. Our phone number is 334-505-1723.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, we're a nonprofit. We are an organization of 501c3.
We're running out of time, caller, but I'm going to squeeze you in. Go ahead. You're on the air. Go right ahead, Ms. Harris. How are you today?
Mrs. Joyce Nadine O'Neill received the Rosa Parks Award, was one of the 6 recipients that received the Rosa Parks Award on this past Monday December 1st at St. Paul AME Church in Montgomery.
Oh boy, wow! I wish I had known.
Kudos to Ms. And congratulations.
Yes, ma'am. Congratulations to Ms. Joyce O'Neill.
Yes, I just thought that would really spark on. We had a similar representative and a great speaker. The guest speaker was Miss Latasha Brown.
Wow.
Of Selma. But Mrs. O'Neill received she was one of the 6 recipients of the award.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. We're out of time. I got to have you come in soon. We need to get together soon. Thank you for calling. And Brother Muhammad and Reverend Bowen, thank you guys for coming in. We're just about out of time. We got to get ready for Fox News. But we know that between now and January, we'll have your back.
Right. You have the flyer.
I've got the flyer. I'm going to put it online, post it on selmapostherald.com.
We appreciate you, Randy. We appreciate what you do here. And together we can make this happen.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you. And through the grace of God. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay.
Amen. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for listening. I'll see you Sunday morning for gospel, 9:30. And then, God willing, I'll see you Monday morning, 6 a.m. for the Great Awakening, 8:05 for Viewpoint. You have yourself a safe and enjoyable weekend. Stay tuned for Fox News on WHBB Selma. It's 10 o'clock.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Man, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, you're quite welcome.
Yeah. And you could pick the flyer up,